Okie dokie, Smokies. So, today is Wednesday, April. Doesn't say it on my thing. Does it say it? Where does it say it? Is it the 16th? Oh, it's the 16th. Okay. So, I figured since it's so I wanted to do something if I started a YouTube channel, I wanted to do something called Wind Down Wednesdays. So, Wind Down Wednesdays will be and the reason for that, the backstory of that is when I was a server, they used to do at this restaurant called Bricktops. It was called Wine Down Wednesdays, and I would literally like it was I think half off like every glass of wine like on a certain list, and then I don't know if it was like bottles as well, but it was a really big hit, and we attracted a lot of people. And I really want to put my hair in a bun, but it wouldn't stay. Sorry, just if I'm cooking and stuff, and I don't want my hair to be in, you know, when you're a server for so long and you work in hospitality, you get used to some things. And for some reason, my hair's not staying in a bun. I don't know why. I might need bobby pins, but um, I probably will need bobby pins. I mean, it looks feasible. It's doable for now. Um, but Wine on Wednesday was kind of like a big deal, and I told myself what I wanted to do if I created a YouTube channel. I wanted to do um, literally a wind down Wednesday. So, like, I was gonna I'm not gonna drink the whole bottle of wine, but I wanted to do like basically have a bottle, not the whole bottle, but pick a bottle. I'm not a sommelier. I wish I could be like a level one. I've never done my certification, but I've always wanted to do my certification. But it costs a pretty penny. So I know I have a very like a basic like rudimentary understanding of wine. Not well, not really sure basic. I take it back. Maybe like an intermediate, beginner intermediate. Like there's certain things I can tell whether a wine is more tannic or more like acidic or jammy, like fruitier, oakier, more like soft on the palate. There's the five S's, which is like see it, smell it, sip it, swirl it. I forget the five F's. I should know this. I haven't done serving in a while. So, but this is today's wine, and today I am going to be making. So I have like half. This is a really good brand of pasta. It's called Molisana. So I guess this will be like a wine on Wednesday, come and cook with me kind of situation. Again, I am not a cook. I want to preface that because I'm no way like a chef. I like to eat food. Um, I like to go on Yelp and Yelp places. But this brand of pasta. It's really good. I highly recommend it. Since it's 100% durum wheat semolina enriched macaroni pasta. It's bronze geared rigatoni number 31. So it's like a larger rigatoni. I feel like if I'm gonna do like if you do penne alla vodka or like rigatoni alla vodka, I feel like this is a really good like a thicker rigatoni. If I can take one out, this is while it's dried. You can kind of see what it's like. It's a little bit. I don't know. I feel like it's a different kind of shape rigatoni than like a usual one. So yeah, I'll put that back. And I guess it's vegan. It says vegan. I don't know what vegan off means, but it works for me. I like it. It tastes really nice. I never noticed this cooking. It literally says the cooking time on the back. I did not realize that until now. I also have another good brand is Diceco, which I have this one here. This is Diceco pasta. Diceco. I don't know if I'm saying it right. Diceco. I'm not Italian. I wish I was. That would be really neat if I was Italian. So that's that. I'm gonna try to fix my hair again because I'm a bit of a perfectionist. When I'm really like into something, I am very, very, very much a perfectionist. I think I'll just put my hair in a ponytail. That works. And I want to get things right. Like I'm the type of person, if it doesn't look right, like if I'm writing something like in my handwriting, it doesn't look right, I will redo it over and over and over again. But there's that one. So it's cavatappi pasta. But so I'm going to open this bottle of wine. It says it's called I got it at the Beverage Mart, which I have my video of me going to the Beverage Mart in Vermont. So single woman living in Vermont. So typical day before I was doing this whole vlog thing and whatnot. And again, I don't really imagine anything taking off like woo. Some people do like YouTube and then like one video goes viral. I don't really expect that. I'm just like I said, there's a woman out there or a man who wants to move somewhere or like do something new in their life, or they feel lonely and they're like, oh, no one, my life is so whatever. And like, no, you're not as alone as you think, because I'm 33, I'm single, which again, I don't like to define myself by my marital status or whatnot, or just, I don't know, there's so much more to a person than being like single, like there's just, you know, so, yeah. So, but I am a single 33-year-old female living alone with my dog, who is a very, very picky eater. This is what my dog, I feed her a whole can of food, and this is what she leaves. I see so many ads. This is what she leaves. She likes the water, but I see so many ads about this food called kibble or unkibble that I'm super tempted to try it because it's like all over Instagram and they're like your dog will fall in love with it because she does not like to eat certain foods. So, and it's funny. I guarantee you, once I make the pasta, she'll want to eat my pasta. I have bread here, so what I wanted to say is a typical night before I started doing this stuff. So because I used to go out a lot with my family when I lived in Miami, we would go out like almost every weekend or so. I felt really blessed and fortunate in that respect um, to do that and get to experience. It's like a weird. I just looked at. I mean, it's like a weird. I do not know what this is. It's like literally in the middle. Like never. That is so weird. Is this like the? It's like when you say the core of an apple. This was like my half of my onion that I had for when I was making. I forgot what I was making. I was making something. I don't know if it was rice and beans, but I love onion, so I'm gonna leave that right there. But anyways, I digress. Um, yeah. So when we used to go out as a family a lot. And if you hear me talk about my family a lot, it's because we used to do a lot of things together. We don't really do that anymore. My family's kind of scattered about everywhere, and I kind of lost touch with them. It's a long story. I'm not really going to share that online with strangers. Um, just trying to keep it more lighthearted and fun and interesting. And this wine is chilled. Oh, because I put it in the refrigerator. I was like, why is this so chilled? I'm like, because I put it in the refrigerator. Um, is this in Portuguese? It says it's a wine from Portugal. Anyways, um, my ADD brain, or I should say I seen a new term for people with ADD. It's like called neurospicy. So I'm going to say neurospicy. But I used to go out a lot with my family, and dining out is just, I don't know. I've always gotten to taste all these different foods and wine. We used to get a bottle of wine every single time we went out to a restaurant. Um, and so and my ritual here at home, um, which is like, it's funny because you would think people are like, oh, it's Wednesday night. What is the middle of the week? So people probably do go out and stuff and like hang out with friends and stuff. I'd rather be home, like cooking my own thing. My always pan looks kind of dinky right now. It has like stains, which I don't know how to get off of it, but this is like one of my prized possessions. I will never get rid of this. I do wish I can get like the pot that has like, it's blue. I think it's the Selena Gomez line or something, but it's like blue. It's like this royal blue color, and it has like this golden top. I don't think they have it anymore in stock. Um, but anyways, my ritual would be, I'm gonna toast this a little bit more. This is my croissant. Not a, oh my god, it's not a croissant. It's a baguette. This is a baguette bread. I love baguette bread. So there's two markets here in Vermont. There's one called Hannaford's. I think it's like a family owned. It's shedding. It's a family owned grocery store supermarket, and then there's another one called Market 32, which is called Price Chopper, or they paired up now. Um, I don't know, in terms of quality of food, I do feel like Market 32, which is Price Chopper as well, has a little bit more of a selection of like organic and quality food. Hannaford's is pretty generic, even though they kind of noticed in the past few months they're branching out and getting new brands and stuff. But I will say, even though Whole Foods is really expensive, I did like going to Whole Foods, even though again it's ridiculously expensive sometimes the things you get, but you're getting quality stuff. So, but one of my rituals is what I do is I'm not gonna put on the music now, but if I'm making like Italian food, I would play like Italian music, or if there's a station on Pandora I love called French Cooking Radio Station, and I'll play that. Um, I like to play the song by Michael Bublé. It's called Sotto Cielo di Roma, which is on an evening in Roma, and it's like Sotto Cielo, como bella c'è la luna, brille strette strette come molto bella passeggiata. It's he sings a bit of it in Italian, but anyways, it just gets me in the mood and makes me feel like I'm like walking in a piazza in Italy, which I'm not. Right? I'm in Vermont. Um, I feel like sometimes at heart I'm more European, but you make do. You bring the euro to you. Even though I feel like if I went to Europe now, I'd probably be shocked. But it's like when I went to Canada, I was imagining like I went to Canada, which is like literally a hop, skip, and a jump from Vermont, which I didn't know this until like I got here and a neighbor told me, oh, Montreal is like an hour away. I'm like, oh, okay. Montreal was never on my radar until I got here. And it was so not what I thought it was going to be. It reminded me of like Ocean Drive in Miami, at least the area that I went to. It was very busy streets, super city, like, and I don't know, I was imagining, I think I wanted more of the Quebec City type of vibe, not the, super densely populated, traffic ridden, you know, just, yeah. So, like maybe old world style living kind of thing. Um, so, beep, ba, boop, ba, boo, ba, ba. Train of thought, bread, baguette. Um, yeah, so I will say what I like to do is, which I need to get my plate of olive oil, my platico, and then we do this. So because I go out, one of the things which I don't even know if like in Italy they do that, when you think about it, because in Italy, I feel like there's some customs and things that are different. Like, so I didn't know like a cappuccino. So in Italian breakfast, the Italian word for breakfast is colazione. So a cappuccino is usually had part of your breakfast, which is colazione. And to think sometimes we have cappuccinos at night, like when you're having dessert or whatever. So the customs and stuff are different. But I will say I think wine is a universal language. And I'm the kind of person, well, I will take 20 minutes in a 20 to 30 minutes at least, like in a beverage store, and I will literally like take a picture, like I will scan a label on an app called Vivino, and then that app provides a rating of the wine. And then I'm kind of, my parents used to call me a wine snob because I used to do only wines that were like 3.8 and above. Because 3.5, which we have had wines that were 3.5 and below, and they were pretty decent. But I just feel like 3.8 and above is like more the wheelhouse that I like to stay in. So Vivino is like a Yelp for wine, but this one's called Lolita. So I will open that, and then I have this is my only stem laden or glass. So I went to a winery in New Jersey when I went on a day trip with Bonnie to New Jersey, and it's called in Cape May. So it's called like Cape May. You kind of see it there. It says Cape May Vineyards. It was like my souvenir. So it's like literally my one glass. All my other glasses are like, they look like this, which are basically like little goblets, I guess. Right? It's like I have a little chunky goblet, and then I have the skinny goblet. So that's like my pride and joy. I will preface, I am not the type of person where I know, and I don't want to say this like in a degrading manner, because there are people who do actually battle like alcoholism and substance abuse and addiction. Because I think some people, when I told them, when you're in hospitality, people get it. If you don't work in hospitality, people are going to look at you and be like, oh, you like wine? You're an alcoholic. And I'm like, nope, I don't drink during the day. I don't drink a whole bottle by myself. I mean, yeah, like by myself. I can't drink a whole bottle in one day by myself. This bottle, so one bottle, 750 milliliters, usually lasts, right, it has 4 glasses. If you do a decent, like I think it's like a 6 to 8 ounce pour. A 9 ounce pour is pretty big, but if you do a traditional like 6 to 8 ounce pour, you're going to get at least 4 glasses. Like in a traditional wine glass, you're going to get at least 4 glasses of wine. So this bottle will last me throughout the week. So I just want to preface that, because I think some people, and there really are people who battle alcoholism and stuff like that, and I don't want to be like rude towards those people because that's hard. Like there's people that, there's people that when they're coping with things, they um, they rely on alcohol or they rely on drugs or other stuff like that. When I have the only time, so I'm very much a lightweight. The only time I'll really drink is if I'm eating something. I can't drink. I know there's people that go out and they drink without, like, on an empty stomach. No way I could ever do that. I will literally probably throw up. I'll get sick. I'm very sensitive to certain things. So, um, but I do love, I feel like I'm back in my serving days when I'm like, this is your bottle. You're supposed to hold it like this. I never realized. So there's things you can hold bottles like, so there's an indent in every wine bottle. You can put your hand like this and or you're supposed to pour it. I forgot, there's a certain way someone taught me that you're supposed to grab it by the bottle and then you pour it that way, down, and then you're supposed to twist it up. So it doesn't, so traditionally you're supposed to have, I don't have a linen. Well, I do kind of. Where's my linen? So you're supposed to like place, right? Was it here? Like this. I haven't been serving in like at least, what was it, since 2022? But you traditionally you pour in the wine and then you can go like this and you clean it. So, or you can like wrap it around. Some people they wrap it like that and whatnot, and you make it's like a bathrobe. It looks like a bathrobe for a bottle of wine. Anyways, I'll put that like that, and then we'll put this back here. Um, But my ritual for what I like to do is because when we used to go out to restaurants, this is literally what every restaurant we went to. You get your olive oil, your little platico, and they will do, like, Carrabba's does this. I said that's so gringo. Got Carrabba's. It's like Carrabba's. It's like Carrabba's. Carrabba's. Which I realized there's no Carrabba's like here. So I go like this, and I go like this, so you can kind of see it. I always, when you're doing serving, you never want to use like too much olive oil. I also learned that really good, let me kneel down. Ow, my knee! I hit my knee. Oh, that hurt. I'm very clumsy. I just hit my knee on the door handle. Oh my god, that's gonna hurt. Anyways, so I learned that if you get olive oil that's from like a bunch of different places, it's not really like genuine olive oil. So you want to get, according to Bobby Parrish, right? I didn't know this until I watched Bobby Approved, right? He has like all these people. Um, where is it? It said it. It said it before. It had all the names of the places. Unless I'm wrong, but there was one of them that I know. Well, all I know is that Bobby Approved says that like you want to get olive oil that's like from one specific place, because if it's from like a bunch of different places, that's not true genuine olive oil. Oh, here it is. Okay, so on the very bottom, I don't know if you can see. On the very, very bottom, see the very small print there, right at the bottom, kind of like right there. It says Italy, Greece, Spain, Argentina, Tunisia. I'm assuming, I don't know if it's like from one particular area, region, but I'm assuming it's from, which is kind of crazy that a bunch of different places made olive oil, and then I guess all the grapes are from there. So anyways, I do that. Then we get some, I have this sea salt grinder here. So what I like to do is place this. There was a server that I worked with that she was like an expert server. She worked at Joe's Stone Crabs in Miami, and she's the one who taught me about this, to do this mixture. So shout out to her. And then we do that. And then we get, this is probably one of the most handy dandy devices anybody could ever have in their home. It has fresh ground pepper, see there? And you open and close it like this. They have this on Amazon, so you go like this. It's supposed to slide. I don't know why it's not, but maybe because I haven't really opened it that much. Anyways, this opens that way. I don't know why it's not open. Anyways, it's supposed to slide down. I'm assuming maybe I closed it too tight. I'm hoping it's going to be able to open again. But anyways, so the light's going to turn on, and then it's going to disperse. Pepper! Voila! Aceite de oliva. That's in español. with the salt, coarse ground salt. And then sometimes you can do Parmesan cheese. I like to do balsamic vinegar and balsamic glaze. So to be adventurous, Bonnie, my dog is watching me like this woman. I don't know what she's doing. So this is, I'm going to kneel down like this. This is balsamic vinegar, organic. I try to get everything organic because I don't want to eat stuff that's like sprayed with whatever. And then this is Roland gluten-free organic. This is really, so balsamic glaze is like one of my, so I worked my very first job serving. So interesting. Why did it all separated? Why did it separate like that? That's weird. My very first job serving was at a place called Gustafino, which is now closed. It was an Italian, very small boutique, like Italian eatery in Coral Gables, Florida, which is like a neighborhood in kind of like a subdivision of Miami, Florida. And I'm gonna place this back in the oven. And Tony Vecchio was my boss. He was born in Sicily, Italy, in Campania more specifically, and then he was raised in Brooklyn, New York. So he was very like no nonsense, but he taught me like just not taught me, but I watched and observed, and like food preparation and things like that, and how you present it. But anyways, this is my plate of. Can I go like this? Olive oil with brown pepper and balsamic glaze. So go like this. I'm gonna scoot back. I think I might have just scoot back because I'm recording this on my laptop because I don't have the fancy equipment. Like you see some people and it's all like the production value is very, once they get a lot of people, they get more into it. But this is very low key. And but basically this is my ritual. I call it my pancito. In Spanish, pan is bread. I guess in Italian, pane would be bread. So I have my pane or my pancito in the oven. I had baked it a little bit before I recorded anything, but watch me burn myself. Knowing me, that's what usually happens. I burn myself. So now, and this is literally what I do by myself. Like, this is my meal, right? I try to replicate a dining out experience because, like I said, I kind of just keep to myself here, which is fine. I've distinguished myself or designated myself as a ambivert, which is essentially a introverted extrovert of sorts. So we're gonna open this. Like I said, it's Wine Down Wednesday. My plan was that and please, if you're gonna make fun of my wine opening skills, this is the way I was taught by a server at a restaurant called Bricktops, which is now closed in Coral Gables, but you go from the back. So if you're with a guest, you go to the back, and then you get this part of the foil cutter, and then you apply pressure. Sorry, that was kind of bad. So the front part. Now, some people you can actually just grab this and take the foil if they're super strong. I've seen that. I've tried to do that. But if you want to be, and then from now, the back area, you slowly start to use this to peel this off. Boop, done. And now, when you're training to be a server, they literally watch you the whole time how you're opening stuff. So now, you place it right in the middle. This is a wine. How do you open a wine bottle? And you slowly twist, 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 twist. And usually you want to have the label facing outward to whoever you're doing to. And then this is kind of almost, and then we place this here, right? The first little indentation there, boop. And we lift it up. And then you do the second tier, and then boop, done. Voila, all done. So we will go like that. I like to smell. I like to look at the bottom. This is called Lolita, made in Portugal. I've never had this wine before. It was rated 3.8 on Vivino. So we shall see what this is all about. So let's see if I have my. Boop. Oh, and not a drop. Boom. I still got it because I haven't done serving. So I serve in like a fine dining, I've served fine dining restaurant, casual restaurants, counter service, everything, you name it. But next step, we look at it, this is, and then we swirl it. So I don't know if I'm probably not doing it. I'm probably doing it improperly, but there's literally, you could go like this with two fingers. So the reason for this is you're actually aerating because wine, when you do this, it oxidizes and it's supposed to enhance the flavor more and bring out that flavor. So you can literally, so that's why when you go to a restaurant, they have this something called like a decanter. I don't have one. I used to have one. I sold it. And it comes in all these beautiful shapes and they're kind of hard to work with sometimes because you have to know how to maneuver it in a certain way so the wine doesn't fall out. But you go like this, and then you could smell it. Always want to grab it by the stem. You want to get fancy, you could stick the pinky out, but I'm not going to do that. I have a fly. There's a fly on the wall. So I'm going to swirl a little bit more. It is a really, like a kind of a translucent, like garnet color. It's like, there's a breadcrumb in there. Oh my God, if I was actually serving this to someone, I think a breadcrumb got in there, but I'm still going to drink it. It's fine. It is a beautiful, like almost a blush garnet red. And then, so if you look, so what happens is there's these things called legs. So that's how you know if a wine, the viscosity of a wine. So if it's the alcohol content, if you'll know when I say tannic, that's when more of there's a bite to it or like how pungent it is or astringent. Astringent is a good word. So when you think of astringent, you think of something that's an actual astringent. When you think of like witch hazel, things like that, or right. But so it's gonna the legs on it. It is just kind of a bit, not too much actually. So I don't imagine it. I think it is a red blend. This is the cover. I just thought it was a cute, like at first what caught my eye was the graphic of it, the image. I just was like, this girl's like, she's like, aha, she's like, I don't care. She's like what I wish to be, right? Because I'm the opposite of that. I'm like more dorky and nerdy, and she's like what I need to be, more sassy. She's like, I don't care. I have shades on. If I can give like a name, she's like, it's called Lolita. I think it's implied that she's supposed to be kind of like, a little un poquito sassy. But so you go like this, and then we're gonna smell it. Sip it, sniff it, smell it, swirl it, and then I'm gonna taste it. But I don't imagine it being super tannic because the legs, which again, like I said, that's a good way to tell how, I don't want to say alcohol-y, or how tannic a wine is going to be. And that's a shout out to another server who taught me that. His name was Jeff, and he worked at a restaurant called Ruth Chris Steakhouse. I don't even know if he's still there anymore, but he's the one who taught me that. I learned a lot. Let me tell you something. It's really sad that we live in this very dog eat dog world competitive society, because there are always, and there's a poem that I love called the Desiderata, which basically says there's always going to be persons lesser or greater than yourself, meaning there's always going to be someone who's going to know more than you, and there's going to be someone who's going to know less than you. And I'm the type of person that if someone knows more than me, I want to sit next to them and I want to learn from them. And they're in their own corner, they're in their own lane, they're doing their own thing. But we live in this world society sometimes where it's like, we don't celebrate or champion other people's successes. We're the ones that are going to be like, oh, how can I undermine that person to get better? And it's like, because he was a server in his own right. Like, he was one of the best servers I've ever seen in my life. And there's people who are career servers who, that's their job, and they have their sections, they have their clientele. They're basically salespeople, and I did serving because it was getting me through college and my undergrad and then my master's. And plus, I just really love food. So, cheers! I'm going to try it, though. Let's see what it tastes like. That is tannic. So, interesting. That is super interesting. Very fruity at the end. When it first goes in the mouth, it tastes kind of like, man, that's interesting. That is interesting. The end is very fruity and jammy. Going in, it's more pungent and astringent. Like this is very interesting. It's not off dry either. It's going in. It's very smooth and velvety, but then when it sits in your mouth, you get that kind of bitterness, or what we call the bite. I think my husband. Oh, I thought my. I could have sworn that sometimes when you have an Amazon device, the little Alexa devices, they just like randomly start to like play music sometimes. I'm placing my baguette back in there. This this really makes me, one of my bucket list things is that I would hope to do, unless, and if I can't do it, I'll bring the bucket list experience to me. Maybe one day I'll like buy 3 bottles of wine and just like, but then I don't want to open them all up at the same time. But like if I was doing a wine tasting, you'd get like, bits and pieces. And when you get a wine tasting, you have a bucket and you go and you spit out the wine. Again, another perk of when you work in hospitality, you get to like try different wines and things like that. But this is surprising. It tastes like kind of like a Malbec, to be honest. It's a Portuguese wine. So on the back it says no. So let me first of all, because it tells what notes what it the it is very jammy. It's very smooth. I didn't chocolate wasn't the word I would think of for cacao, but interesting, super interesting. But it is. I think it's a red blend because it just says red wine. It doesn't have a specific one, but it says Lolita is pure love, sustainably farmed and made using only grapes from. Oh, it's sustainably farmed. That's one thing that I realized. So that wines sometimes they contain sulfites. So sulfites are, I don't know if they're like preservatives, but basically like sulfites are, it's sulfur, right? But sustainably farmed wine is like when you think organic wine, it's not made with any like preservatives or um like I hope not pesticides or anything that could compromise it. But it says sustainably farmed and made using only grapes from old vineyards where production is smaller, but the concentration of flavors allows me to create this amazing full bodied. I would definitely, it is full bodied. I was going to say medium to full bodied, but it says full bodied with ripe fruit, dark cherries, chocolate, and a touch of spice. I don't really taste the spice too much, but again, I'm not the winemaker. They are. So, it is good though. So I'm going to leave that, put that to the side for a second. I need to like, I don't want to be tipsy. I will say I get really tipsy very easily because once again, I'm very sensitive. I guess my body composition lends itself like, I'm sorry, I had phlegm. Once anything, if I have alcohol in my system, in my bloodstream, it's like boom, like it will hit me right away. So I don't really want to. My plan was before is I wanted to be on camera and like there's this program on Comedy Central called Drunk History where they retell stories from history, like the Battle of whatever, like the Gettysburg Address, or um, I don't know, really significant moments in time for like American history or like European history. And but the people who are retelling the story are drunk, or they get the people drunk, and then they have people act out their retelling of the story while they're drunk or inebriated. And it's really funny because the actors who are acting it out will use the same verbiage. So like, let's say, I don't know, it just, if you've ever seen it, it's called Drunk History and it's really funny to watch. But I don't want to be, I need to cook food, so I don't want to do it. So I already have my pot over here. Here, this is my pot over here. Yes, that's my always pan, as I mentioned before. And I am going to turn it on. Can I hold it like this? So this is my, right? This is this one. So I'm going to turn this on here. I always like to put it on high. I have now learned the hard way that you never want to put an always pan on high heat, because if you do that, then it's going to destroy the bottom of the pan. And I should have known this because I bought my parents an always pan. Here it's simmering. There was some water at the bottom of it, so it's like it's making like a sizzling noise. So what was I saying? It smells like it's burning. It smells like it's burning. Um Yeah, so never, if you have an always pan, make sure you put it on low to medium heat, or else you're going to end up with stains like I do, and you don't want that. So I'm going to put this back over here. I'm going to take my pasta, my molisana pasta, and I'm going to put it, I feel like I should move that, well, whatever. It's over here. So I'm going to put this, actually, I'm going to wait till it boils more. Oh, you know what? My pancito. Oh my goodness, my pancito. We'll have some pancito. So if you're someone like, let's say you're at home, like, let's say you come across my channel and you're like, oh, I'm so lonely, I'm so bored, I have no friends. I am your virtual, even though there has to be reciprocity and rapport and everything, but consider me your like automatic virtual friend. You're on it because making, let me tell you, oh, that'll be, you know what, that'll be a good topic to talk about today, making friends as an adult. I don't know what it's going to get into or what it's going to lead to. I don't really want to talk about dating. I was going to do more of like a sit down thing when I talk about dating. But let's talk about that, making friends as an adult. I don't know about some people, but making friends now as an adult is hard. It's not like it was even when I was in middle school, it was still hard. Like, because there were cliques, there were like people that were friends with each other already. Um, while I do this, I'm going to cut this. This is going to be hot though. Oh, and you know what I gotta do? I gotta cut my shallots. So I told myself it was funny. I was like, I'm going to have shallots, shall we? I thought that was funny because it was like I'm not really good at telling jokes, but I just thought it was funny because it was a play on words, like shallot, shall we? So, but I have my onion here. I need to cut these because I'm very obsessed with. I don't know why. I love onions in food. So I'm gonna cut onions and I'm gonna doctor up the sauce, which the sauce I will be making, not really making, excuse me. This is so good. If you have not tried carbone, hi, Bibber. What are you doing? Bonnie came to say hi. And just as I was talking about the saucy, what are you doing, Bibber? Are you going to eat your food over there? She's like, I don't know. She's probably going to get water. Knowing her, she'll probably go for water. Or what happens is that when she knows that I'm cooking, she will come over and she will deliberately try to figure out what's going on. Because when she hears, or if she hears bread being like cut or cracked, she will, right? She'll come over. So I'm gonna put this back here. But Carbone is like literally one of, I didn't realize it was a restaurant in New York, and they have like this cute little like picture on it. This is the 4 cheese one. I haven't had it. Usually I do the spicy vodka sauce because it just tastes so good. It's like literally restaurant. There's a fly flying around. It's like restaurant quality um, sauce. So I like to doctor it up a little bit. Which speaking of which, I need my pan. Oh my gosh, this whole time, the main thing I needed a pan, and I didn't get my pan. This is like literally one of my favorite pans. I don't know what's the brand. Oh, Figment. This is from Target. This is like Cuisinart quality pot. Um, which I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna put this here. That's boiling, right? So let's cut this here. I hope so. This was in the freezer for quite some time, so I hope it's. And as we were talking about, or I was going to talk about making friends as an adult. For me, and I know they have like on the Bumble app, they have a part that's called Bumble for Friends, like IRL in real life. And like, I would feel so weird doing that because like I'm so used to doing the dating apps, like swiping through people. It would be so weird to be like, there's a friend, right? Where there's a guy or girl. And let's say it's a girl, right? I'd be like, it's gonna be like loves to garden, loves to bake, and I'll be like, this is weird because it's a dating app. It's originally a dating app. I would feel weird doing it if it was like for a friend or whatever, like to find friends. Um, I do think though, like I will say if you go to like I think it's if you go to the gym, if you go to like a pottery class, if you do something where someone shares a common interest, I think you're more likely to. I will say though, when I was back in Miami, I loved to do yoga classes, and I was really excited when I did those because I was like, oh, I'm gonna meet people that are like me and they like yoga. And nope, when people went into those classes, they were going to yoga to find peace and to like inner peace and to just do like a rest and relaxation section. Unless they did power yoga, that's different. If they did power yoga and you're all like doing sun salutation and you're sweating and you're like, and you feel like you're dying, that's a little bit different. Maybe you all share this like communal, like, let's get through this together. And that I did take a hot yoga class once at a yoga studio in Miami, and it was kind of, we were all feeling that vibe. We were all like, you could feel each other's energy, like when you feel like you're about to pass out. It was very interesting, but I did not really get to make friends like I wanted to when I did that. So maybe like maybe if there was like a social dance, like I would say this, a ballroom class. I think ballroom dancing would lend itself because it's more social and you get to pair up with somebody. I'm sorry if you hear me crunching in bed, but this is my routine. Or my routine, my ritual. If I'm by myself, I'll eat my I'll have my glass of wine, or here, I'll have my bread, and I dip the bread. I go all out. So that's still boiling. Once it gets like hot enough, I'll put the pasta in there. But making friends an adult, I will be honest, I have like literally like no friends. I mean, I went through a lot though. And also too, I don't know, I'm the kind of person I like to be by myself, if that sounds weird. Like I'm social. Like if I have to be, and I got a lot better over time. I was super shy growing up. Like I did not want, I will say when I did theater camp, that was like, and I only did that because my brother did it. Like my parents kind of just forced us into it. Um, but when I did theater camp, um, that was like I had like you had to go on stage and like do improv. I was because my primary thing was dance. I love ballet. That's what I did. So now as an adult, and I wouldn't say I'm antisocial because once I meet people, I love to meet people. I love to hear about their stories. I love to hear about their upbringings, everything, because you learn a lot from people from all walks of life. So, but now it's so different. Like, and I'm like, thank goodness I'm the kind of person that I covet my privacy. Like, I'm fine. Like, after this, I'll record this. I'll make dinner. I'll eat it. Maybe I'll watch, like, even though I need to go through my to-do list of, like, things that are productive. Like, I'm trying to get certified to become an English teacher online. And I've been doing this for, like, 8 months. I've been trying to get myself, but also the course itself is just, like, a bunch of text that you just read through. And I need, like, videos. I need, like, a teacher. I need, like, didactic, you know, um, back and forth instruction. Like I need communication. I realize that like without visuals, without interaction, I'm like my interest levels like zero. So I have to kind of motivate myself to want to do this like online course or whatnot. And I'm like, maybe I should have picked a different program, but it was the cheapest one. So um, I'm going to jump it in. That is not a lot of pasta. That's like literally a serving, like for one person. For me! Wait, what does it say? For perfect cooking, stir occasionally. 13, okay, 15 minutes. Let's do a 15. This is why the Alexa devices are so good to have because now I can go, Alexa, set a timer for 15 minutes. I'm going to pick this one. No, I like the pink one. I haven't, no, let's do green. I'm very much on a green themed kick for like the past few days because green represents healing. So green is like, since I'm very spiritual, green is the color for Archangel Michael. And that's why I kind of go with it. And then green is also the color of the heart chakra. So like a wand. Woo! Not a wand, but it's a spoon. So anyways, I'm going to stir the pot, not literally, well, literally, not figuratively. I'm very much someone who doesn't like to stir the pot. Figuratively, literally, yes. But I'm going to stir the pot. Did I set the timer? Yes, I did. So I put my salt. I put a little bit of salt in there. We'll let that simmer for a little bit. Put this over here. I'm going to have another piece of pancito because why not? But making friends as an adult, it is hard. I'm going to be honest. Like even the friends, especially when you move away from a certain state or an area, it's harder. When I worked, so in healthcare, it's funny because the people that I worked with directly, like in my team. So I worked it was called Child Life. I'm a child life specialist by trade. I haven't been in the field for like quite some time now, but that's because of some other reasons of things I've been through, which shall not be named, because I wanted to do a positive channel, not like a, oh my God, I've been so abused and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to go into that. But I noticed that I gravitated when I worked in the hospital. So I wasn't a nurse. I was kind of like when you think of like a social worker who goes to the unit and works with certain patients and has to collaborate with people. I kind of did that, or like a psychologist. It's called a child life specialist. When you see us, like if the way it would be if you saw us, you'd be like, oh, they're playing with the kids. How cute that is. No, it's a lot more than that. We use play it has a purpose. So we use play as a way for children to gain insight into their coping mechanisms and skills, and then also to figure out like well yeah they're coping, and then they're where they're at developmentally. So and you can learn and play is a great way to gain insight into the child, into how they view things about you, the world, the hospital, medical stuff. um but my point, that's what my job was. And I would go, we'd have consults, we'd go, or we just prioritize based on our caseload depending on what unit we were assigned to. So I worked on the neurology unit, I worked in the cardiac unit when I lived in Philadelphia. I worked in the neonatal intensive care unit. So primarily I worked with little babies that were high risk, low birth weight infants, or if they stayed a long time, they gained weight, and then they were appropriate for stimulation, which what we call is like stimulation, meaning any form of like activity that elicits some like neuronal response or like motor response, like physically, or like a social response. So that's what I did. And I found out, I came to realize I became closer to the people that were on the unit, like the team itself, like the nurses, than my actual like coworkers, which is interesting because you'd think that you'd be like friends with the people you worked with on your team, but no, no, no. I got along better with the nurses that I worked with, so that was interesting to me. But um, I'm gonna stir this up a little bit. Um, so yeah, but really, and let me tell you, I have no shame in saying it. I'd rather. So this is what I learned. Let's get deep for a second, right? Let's go wisdom deep inside. The people you surround yourself with, your inner circle, they are an extension of you, right? The people that you see day to day, no, not an extension, they're a reflection of you. So what do I mean by this? If you are friends with someone who gossips all the time, who talks poorly about people, who's self-centered, who only cares about themselves, they don't really think about like how their actions affect other people. Some part of that, if you're friends with that person, that means you tolerate their behavior and you accept it. A part of you is similar to that person. Um, Same thing, like one thing I used to experience a lot working anywhere, a lot of people would talk about their sex lives. A lot of people talked about, and this was when I was like 19, 20, 21, 22, 25, 26. And that really bothered me because when I was there to work, I was there to work. I was not there to like talk about my boy troubles or boy problems or family issues. Like I was, and especially when it came to like, when you're in a work setting and you talk about things that are like sexual or dating, like it made me so uncomfortable. And I noticed that a lot of people had friends because they would gravitate and they would talk to each other about that. I didn't. That was just me. I didn't feel comfortable. If I wanted to talk about something related to the job or research or whatever, I would be totally gung ho and I'd be totally in for that. But anything else that veered on the like being like derogatory or inappropriate, one thing my father did teach me is he said if spaghetti and meatballs, meaning like you're not going to talk about anything else other than like very surface level, whatever. And if you do find someone that you resonate with at a job, then great. But you have to remember that that's your coworker, right? That's the person. Some people get lucky and they do meet someone while volunteering or they're their coworker and they hit it off and they're like best of friends. But more often than not, that's your work friend, not your forever friend. And um, I have been fortunate. Like I've looked back recently on my life about the people I've worked with, and I did have some good relationships with people. Not great ones, but decent ones. Like I, you know, so, and I do think you do want to have someone when you work with someone, you want to have relationships with them that, because you're going to be there. You're going to be at a job more than you are with your family, right? So you want to have people that you can get along well with and be cordial with. So that's what I did. And when you're kind of the one, and I don't want to call myself the goody two shoes, but like the good girl, I guess. Like, I try to not talk poorly. I didn't. I did my best to try to not engage in workplace gossip, um, just because it's so toxic. Like when people, especially if you work in a female dominated industry, men, I don't know what it's like on a men's side. So if you're a man and you watch my video, I don't know what it's like for men. From a woman's perspective, it can be a very, like, there's a scene in Mean Girls where, like, the original one, not the new one, where they use the analogy of like the jungle, and they have Katie Heron going in, and like there's like all the different cliques, and she compares it to like animals, like being like very like territorial, and they're like predators and prey, and they're like their mating rituals, and it's kind of like that kind of thing. But at least for me, that's the way I saw it. And that's really bad because I've even experienced it where I've been on the receiving end of it, where people have had friendships at work that it was almost, what's is it, favoritism, or like when basically the people they have a clique. And I've been in situations where the girls were friends with the girl who got promoted and was a supervisor, and because they were friends and they were training me, they talked poorly about me in some respects, and it was hard to prove, but because they were friends, and then that got disseminated, and then that, and that's kind of where I go, the conflict of interest. That's why I really am not big on making like friends at work, like best buddies, but just being cordial or familiar, amicable. Because what happens is that there's always going to be someone who's the other coworker on the outside looking in who's going to go, oh man, I wish I was friends with that person, or I wish I was in their group, but I'm not. And then they feel dejected or rejected. And I never want to make anyone feel that way. So, if you're a woman and you watch this, and maybe you're on the receiving end where you're excluded from a group, or you're being ridiculed or gossiped about, be happy that like you're not in that group. Because if think about it, if the people that you're looking at that you might be going, oh my gosh, I wish I was friends with them, or I wish I had my own group, if they're talking poorly about you or they're excluding you, why would you want to be friends with them anyways? Because if they're being mean, that speaks to their character. You know what I mean? So it's like, I'd rather be alone and by myself, and yeah, eat by myself or watch a video on Netflix, or I don't know, on like a dance video on YouTube, than contribute to workplace gossip or be friends with people who I know would stab me in the back the next day, or are only friends with me because by association, because they work with me. You know what I mean? So I'm very much the type of person, I'm a stickler for morals. So if someone treats another person poorly, or they said anything about, like, I just don't want to deal with that. But again, that's what makes making friends a little bit more difficult, because I feel like people who do have friends at jobs and stuff, they have them because they engage in workplace gossip. They engage in, maybe slacking sometimes in productivity, or they're just, since they have a familiarity with themselves in some capacity, they click, they link up. And it's not a good thing. I've seen it happen because, like I said, I've been on the receiving end of it, where I was I'm gonna say the odd one out, and I never got really disgruntled about it. I ended up leaving that place, um, specifically, and I moved on to greener pastures. So, you know, um, but anyways, let me stir. I don't want to say stir the. I really, when I say stir the pot, like I'm literally stirring the pot, but I'm not. Like figuratively and literally. I have 4 minutes left on the timer. I should probably, now's a good time. So this doesn't take too long to make. So I'm going to open this up. I am going to get some butter. I've learned everything is better with butter. So I've been on kind of, like I said, the organic health food kick. So I tried a new brand called Grassland. It's like non-GMO, but this is called Vital Farms. And it's unsalted butter. It says pasture raised. I was trying to figure out the difference between pasture raised and cage free. But so this is pasture raised. And meaning like the chickens that the butter's harvested from. Oh my god, the chickens, bro, it's dairy, it's not chickens. I was thinking eggs. The cows, excuse me, the cows that go around are they're free. They can roam the pastures, and they're not fed like anything bad, like cornmeal or byproduct or anything synthetic. It's all natural. So I'm just opening up the butter, the mantequilla, as we say in Spanish. Wow. I'm going to place this into the pot behind me. I'm the kind of one, so I literally am, I'm very like into, I guess, doctoring up recipes. I'm gonna have another sip of my wine. See, look how long I take to drink this. This was like a teeny little bit of wine. This was not a lot. And it takes me like an hour just to get through like a 4-ounce pour of wine. Oh, it's bubbling. We see the bubbles. Oh no, you can't see the bubbles. But it's bubbling. You see the bubbles. You see the smoke. It's almost done. The timer should go off like any second. Right? Oh, 2 minutes. It has 2 minutes more. So I'm going to actually reduce the heat a little bit. Reduce it to a simmer. I'm using chef lingo, but I'm not a chef at all. I'm like the furthest thing from a chef, but I do like to cook now. I always say that if I ever do meet a man, he's going to be very lucky because I'm the kind of, there's like, I feel like when people get married, they're like, oh, I have to cook. I don't want to cook. Can you cook? And it's like, bro, I'm the type of person. I really haven't had that many relationships. I've had flings. I don't want to say one. I'm not going to get into that. But I'll just say flings that didn't really amount to anything, which that rhymed. But I will say I'm the type of person, even when during those flings or whatever, I'm someone that I would like, and if I didn't even know them well, I'm very generous as a person. So I was very much, I like to cook. I'd be like, oh, can I make you a caprese sandwich? Can I make you penne alla vodka? That's the kind of person I am. Like, oh, can I make you a burger? And I won't eat it. I just want to make it because I'm like, I enjoy making it. So if it brings me joy, I'm like, it'll bring them joy. So, what I'm going to do. But the butter's in there. I might need to move my pan over here. Let me do a little butter. I don't know, maybe too much butter, but everything is always better with butter. Shout out to, I was a server. He was like a team lead server that I worked with at Paracones. That was a restaurant. It's not closed in Miami. See that? I don't know if would that be like a 6-ounce pour? I think it's a 6-ounce pour. And he always said, butter is like the base of everything. He's like, butter is literally like butter, garlic, olive oil. Those are like the staples in cooking. At least in Italian cooking. Citrus too is like lemon. Let me see. Okay, so now it opened up. So it's more like tannic. Like, you taste the acidity more. That's going to be so good with the pasta. I'm so glad I went to Beverage Mart. It's like a 10-minute walk to Beverage Mart. But I still wish I had a scooter. Because I'm just scared if I go on a scooter because I feel like my balance would be sucky because I'm clumsy naturally. Alexa, stop. I feel like my balance would be like off. So I feel so nervous that I would fall down and like break my ankle. And here, being in a small town, no offense to them, but it's like coming from a big city like Miami, you had University of Miami, you had the FIU Medical Center, you had urgent cares, you had clinics and everything. Here it's like they have Northwestern Medical Center. It's a smaller hospital, so like more complex cases, they're not going to deal with that. Like living in Philadelphia, even there, they're able to deal with complex cases. Here, not so much. So I have my pan with the butter, my 3 little cubes of butter. I'm gonna let this simmer a little bit. I know pasta's supposed to be al dente, which is kind of like harder, like chewier, but I do like it to be softer. I am gonna check this out here. So, it needs like, Alexa, set a timer for 3 minutes. I'm gonna wrap this up. Literally wrap this up, like wrap it up. My jokes suck. I like comedy. I love to watch funny sketches. Like, I used to watch SNL more often. I don't really watch them as much anymore. I really loved SNL when like Bill Hader, Seth Meyers, Kristen Wiig, um, what was it? Oh my God, Jason, was it Jason Sudeikis? Not Jason Bateman. There was another guy. No, A.D. Bryant. I don't know if A.D. Bryant is still on there. Keenan Thompson's on there. I know. There was like an OG like cast that I loved, but at Andy Samberg, like they were so funny. Um, but I do like comedy, but like Key and Peele, oh my gosh, I love Key and Peele. They're so funny. I could probably watch right now, probably which I will watch. There's a sketch by Key and Peele where they reenact like what's it called? The football players, and they make up names for each football player, and they're like Jontavius Squaremeyer, you know, Didonkius Delaquatia, blah, 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 and then like, they have like different hairstyles. I crack up every single time with that. But anyways, so I don't want to get off track. So, and I'm starting to feel a little un poquito tipsy, but not super tipsy. But like, I need to get food in my system, which is why I'm eating bread. And there is still a fly, and now it's flying around the wine. I don't want to curse. I do curse a lot. I say bitch a lot. I say shit. I'm trying to scale back on it. But there was a fly flying around the wine bottle, which I need to put. Where did I put the cork? I'm gonna cork it. See, I did my pour of wine. So if I had 4 ounces and then I had, oh my god, ¿por qué tú no? Okay. Mm-mm-mm-mm-mm. I don't know why I have an accumulation of like mucus or phlegm after I drink wine. I need to get this, the tapita. So this tapita, I call it tapita. So tapa in Spanish is like a top. So I call it tapita. So the tapita has little like holes in it. So I'm gonna put this here. I think I'm gonna turn this off. Let's turn this off and put it over here. Right? Let's switch sides here. Let's do that. Oh, we need olive oil. I need olive oil. Where's my olive oil? Okay, so let's do some little aceite de oliva al dentro. Un poquito, not like a lot, but like a little bit. And butter, let's put this away. See, I already feel it. I already feel it. Alexa, stop. I already feel the wine hitting me. I even feel, and that wasn't even not like a lot of wine, but I need to have food in my system or else I'm just going to be like, forget about it. I'm going to be, red wine for some reason, well, no, not for some reason. I know why. Red wine has resveratrol, which I know is an antioxidant, which is good for you. And then it also has a little bit of melatonin in it. So if you have red wine and you feel sleepy after drinking it, that's why. It's because it has melatonin in it. But I don't condone, I don't recommend drinking wine to go to sleep. But it does have melatonin in it. So if you're someone that you're like, oh, you get a headache or you get tired from drinking red wine, boop, it's because it has melatonin. White wine is a little bit more tolerable. So if you're out and about with people and you don't want to be like, oh, you're falling asleep, I recommend white wine. And white wine is good too. Or rosé. So I'm not going to do garlic. Oh god, I got olive oil on my computer. Oh no. I don't recommend garlic, but I am. Oh, you know what? Before that, really quickly, pause. I can't pause the video. So I'm going to take this. I'm going to take my pot of pasta that has the little holes. Ah! Oh god, I got water. Water was pouring out. Oh, it's calienticos. It's super caliente. Hold on. I'm pouring it out in the sink. Oh, that's a lot of smoke. I go shaky, 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 shaky. And then I'm going to put it over here. Okay, now the water's up. Because I didn't want to, if I had the water in there. Bro, that's a lot of smoke. That is hot. That is hot. You see the smoke. See, now Bonnie appears because she hears stuff going on. She's like, oh, what's that? She's like, food for me? So I'm going to keep this like that. Right? This is my dog right now. She goes from being in like a nice deep slumber to, what? This is the second time she makes an appearance. She's like, is this for me? But yet she won't eat her own food, but she'll go and she'll eat the food. Like, no, yeah, she won't eat her own food, but then she'll want to eat my food. What? What do you smell? Do you want a cracker? See, she knows. She senses something. She's like, oh, there's cooking? Cooking going on? Pasta? Pasta? What? ¿Qué tú quieres? ¿Qué tú estás haciendo? I try to give her a massage now every day to try to help her lymphatic system move around because she was not feeling. And yes, please disregard the snowman in the corner. Like I said, I don't have any space. I don't have much space. Well, I do have space. There's a garage out back, but you have to like lift up the handle, and I don't really know if people. Actually, no. I don't think people would be inclined to steal a snowman, but someone's tires got slashed in another city nearby. I don't know if I'm in the best neighborhood. But what? ¿Qué tú quieres? What? You want to walk through? What do you want? Oh, because you know what? She knows that I'm. She knows that I'm cooking. What? ¿Qué tú quieres? What are you looking at? What do you want? I don't know. I can't read a dog's mind, but what do you want? I think she wants food. I gave her food. Mind you, this is a dog that will want to eat ice cream. Like, I literally buy ice cream, vanilla ice cream for her. And the only reason why I do that is because, not chocolate ice cream, vanilla ice cream, because my Nana used to give our dog, not our dog, their dog Timmy, my aunt and uncle's dog Timmy, who's a little Bichon, and he was so cute. And she would give Timmy every Friday night, I don't know if she did it, what, vanilla ice cream scoops. And now I carried on the same tradition with her, right? Do you like ice cream? She ate a little bit of her little, I got these new snacks for her that were like these little like cold chicken bites, like with a smoky flavor, and she ate that. However, I have to go back to cooking, okay? What do you want? What do you want? You have to eat your food, Bibber. I'm sorry. See, because then I don't want to be this kind of dog mom who's an enabler, and then basically, because she's very spoiled. My dog is super spoiled. Like, I was making salmon for her in the pan, and then she got used to that, and she didn't want it. And then, she eats chicken in the pan. And just recently, because she hasn't been eating, I bought Purina dog food in the can. So, and she's kind of been taking to it because she didn't have an appetite for a little bit. What do you want? I don't know what you want, Bibber. I'm gonna go more for the wine, but I do not. The rest of it needs to go for dinner, or else I'm gonna be like, woo! I'm gonna be super tipsy, even though I'm sure it'd be fun to see. I was kind of planning on that at the beginning. I was like, oh, what if I record myself drinking wine and then I got really tipsy? I'm like, I don't know what's gonna come out of my mouth if I became tipsy, and I'd rather prevent me saying anything like I don't know. I've been through a lot, so. And I don't have filters as a person, but I am more like mindful and professional. I don't know who's gonna watch this, so I want to be mindful of what I say. But I am gonna cut the shallots. But okay, so what was I talking about? Friendship, adults. It's really hard. Why? I don't know. I don't know if it's just like because when you maybe I don't know. Everyone's at like a different point in their life, like once you enter, mind you, I'm holding it. Oh my god, I was holding a knife by this. Once you enter adulthood, I kind of feel like I got a late start at adulthood, for me personally, because like even things like with dating and stuff, I lived at home for a good majority of my life, so like I don't know, things were, and in Miami people do that because like Latino families, Hispanic, like, and even in like black, I hate to say the word black, but like because I just don't like saying it because it's like black, white, like I hate doing that. But anyways, in like black families, that's multicultural, like it's normal, right? For people to live all together like in a home. I hope my eyes. Oh my god, do I need my goggles? I'm gonna get my goggles. I need my goggles because I can't do this with them. My eyes are gonna water, and it's gonna be bad. Oh my god, it's 10 o'clock. Sweet Jesus. I don't really have goggles. My goggles are really blue light reading glasses. I just call them goggles because that's why I wear them right now. So to protect myself from my eyes um, getting all like, you know, because they're gonna like once you start cutting the onions, your eyes start to water, which I hate. And the only thing I know is that when your eyes start to water, there's something a chemical. It's called Allison. It's one of my cousin's name is Allison. But it's called Allison, and it's that's what makes you. But not Alice like ALIS1, but ALLICIN. Let's ask Alexa, what's the ingredient in onions that make your eyes water and cry? Let's ask her, because she's gonna. According to an Alexa answer, let's see. Onions produce the chemical irritant known as C-protein 5S oxide, which stimulates the eyes. That's the technical term. Bro, that's like the super scientific technical term. I didn't want the scientific. I meant like the regular one. I'm gonna eat the. What is this? Oh no, I was gonna eat. I thought it was bread. Oh my god, I thought this little piece of onion was bread, and I was gonna eat it because I thought it was like the breadcrumbs. So, anyways, I forgot what I was saying. I totally lost my. The onions taste good though. I had a little bit of onion. So yeah. Oh, that was you say. Okay, I remember now. So I lived a lot at home for majority of my life. So you know, I forgot what the reason why I was going to say that. See, this is when you know, like the wine is hitting me now. Oh, I got a late start in adulthood. That's what I was going to say. I got a late start in becoming an adult. So, yeah, it was different for me. But, other people, maybe it's not so difficult, but for me, it kind of was. And maybe that could be a contributing factor, I don't know. But even so, like, nowadays, making friends, it's like, I don't even know how. Honestly, I don't even know how. I don't. And I'm not gonna even try. It's like, I think if you have, oh my god, my eyes are stinging. Oh my god. I feel dizzy. I'm not dizzy, just because I drank the wine. I need to have food in my system soon, like ASAP, or else I'm gonna fall like on my face and I'm gonna fall asleep. Um, but yeah, making friends as an adult now, and it's like I don't want to like discourage workplace friendships. I don't want to be like that because some people you do meet people, and you're like good friends with them and whatnot. It's just I feel bad for the people that like if you don't make friends with somebody, like there's always gonna be someone left out, and that's not fair. Like everyone wants to feel included, right? No one wants to feel left out of something. So maybe like people should do team building exercises. But I will say maybe the remedy is to make friends as an adult, do things that you love. Kind of like the same way, like, oh my god, my eyes are stinging. Oh my god, and these are just shallots. These are just shallots. They're not even like onions. I don't even think I'm gonna cut the onion. I'm gonna feel it to heal it. By the way, if I end up getting drunk, which I don't want to get drunk on camera, but like tipsy, usually what happens is like I'll not fall asleep, but I get really tired. Obviously slurred speech, but like I'm gonna try not to do that. Ow! I need to focus because I don't want to cut my thumb off. That's all I need, and then I end up in the ER. Oh, what were you doing? I was recording a video and I ended up cutting my thumb when I was cutting shallots because my eyes were so like tired, not tired, but oh my god, sweet Jesus! I need Visine. This is too much. Even with my goggles, it's too much. I'm gonna eat this piece of like bread. What's wrong, baby? Bonnie's like, something's wrong. I know it. Excuse me. I'm going to put eye drops in my eye because my eyes are stinging. I really want to try this. So I've had dry eyes since like ever since I had LASIK eye surgery. Not LASIK, sorry, it's not LASIK, it's PRK. PRK is like a variation of LASIK, but not really. Though it's just the way that they go about like the corneal I don't say reduction. The way that they access the cornea is different. But I've had dry eyes ever since. But it's kind of persisted though, and I've kind of wondered if that's like an autoimmune thing, or if it's from, excuse me, while I know this is not really glamorous. Like I said, I'm not gonna be like a, you know, because some people like show like the glamorous, glitzy side of when they do stuff. I'm real and raw, and I'm authentic, and that's what people you can count on is that it would be like that. Ay, ay, ay. I'm sorry, but my dog is concerned. Okay, I feel better now. I look like I cried through a binder. I went to go grab my glasses and they're over here. I look like I was crying through a movie. Um, what was I saying? Friendship. Um, I will say that like if you go to like a gym class or something, or like you do something that you like, or you volunteer somewhere, I feel like you have more of an advantage to like actually make friends doing that than like I don't know something else. I also think maybe like even social engagement, like on social media. I was never. Let me tell. It's really interesting because I'm not one for social. I was like super anti social media growing up. I was like, no, it makes people have like poor self esteem because they see these people online and it's not a real depiction of life, and they filter it and they make it look so nice or whatever. And and now I'm all like, now I'm recording myself cutting a shallot. I say, have a shallot, shall we? So it's like I don't want to be a hypocrite and be like, no, which I have realized, social media may be a way for people to connect with. Like there might be someone from across the globe who like, may watch this one day and be like, hey, like, oh my gosh, I love cutting shallots too. Let's cut shallots together one day, and that would be awesome because then I can make friends with someone who also likes to have shallots. I'm just using that as an analogy because I'm literally cutting shallots. Which I'm almost done doing. But this is a typical evening. So if I was like not recording this is literally what I do, except I'm talking through it. But this is literally like a typical evening by myself, what I do. Which I think this is a good amount of shallots for, I just didn't want like a lot of it. I just want like a subtle taste of it. I don't know what this situation is. I don't know if this is like a seed or what that it was in the middle of the onion. I'm gonna toss this into the pot. That's that, and then that will simmer. Maybe I need a little salt. Un poquito de sal. ¿Dónde está this? Where's the salt? I will cut, I'm going to cut more bread though. Okay. At first I thought I was going to want to talk about discrimination because, so when I was walking to the beverage mart, there was a car. I'm going to heat this up again. On the guy's car, legitimately, like his car said locally, like he had, like on his windshield, oh wait, hold on. Where's, I'm going to fix this. I need to fix this. I hope my headphones don't disconnect. Okay, here we go. Sometimes, I don't know why, the circuit breaker. And let me tell you, I know, because before I thought it was the heater, because I have a little teeny tiny heater that's like in the bedroom. It's not the heater, because it literally, like legit, the power just like turned off in my bedroom. So I had to go fix it, and that's why I left and went away. But I was going to talk about discrimination, because when I was walking the beverage mart earlier today, there was a dude, I don't know, maybe it's a woman, I don't know. But it was a sedan, and on the windshield it said locally hated in like not parentheses, in quotations. And I told myself, I was like, well, first of all, I was like, why would anyone put on their car locally hated? But I'm like, maybe he's trying to say that he's locally, or she, I don't know. Who knows? Who knows why people do stuff on their cars? Oh, it's sizzling. Wait, I need my thingy. So And it made me think of discrimination because I'm like, bro, like all the people that discriminate against people, and hatred is so prevalent right now. But I decided it like literally like is so prevalent, and it's sad because it's like hatred is so ugly. Like, why would anyone want to be mean to someone? Like, people look so ugly when they're mean. Like, for me, I always think it's like cooler to be kind because you don't look ugly. Not to like saying you look ugly like physically, but like I don't know, just ugly to be mean. So that's just me. So, anyways, I'm gonna add salt to this thingy. So I put the shallots. I was gonna cut the other shallot. Should I do the other shallot? Yeah, let's do the other. I'm gonna do it. Fuck it. I didn't mean to say fuck. I didn't mean to say F-U-C-K. I don't know if I'm allowed to say that, but I said it. I should have said fudge it, but oh god, let me put my goggles on because the other shallot in the box. I realized so one thing about cooking is if you buy garlic or you buy shallots or anything, the shelf life of this stuff, bro, like you need to cook it like immediately because what's gonna happen is it's gonna go bad and then you're gonna waste that $7 or $8 you spent to get the premium quality whatever stuff that you got. Like use it when you get it. Because then you're gonna be like me, and then you're gonna be like, oh man, like I like literally just threw out before I started the video. I threw out like a whole package of garlic. That was like I had so many garlic cloves, like peeled garlic cloves from the Nature's Promise brand. Nope, gone because it had mold on it. I'm like, nope, can't use it. Okay, now I'm gonna cut this and I'm gonna put this. These are bigger pieces of shallots. Bigger pieces of shallots. You can't really see it, but oh, my eyes are stinging again. Sweet Jesus. Okay, so mission accomplished in this respect. I'm gonna do some more little salts. Salt, is that, can you say salt? Is salt plural? Salt. Okay, it's simmering. This is what it looks like. This is where I tell myself, these are moments where I'm like so proud that I cook because I sucked at it so much. Like literally when I was in Virginia, I set off the fire alarm twice. I'm surprised the fire people didn't come, the fire department. So that's what it looks like. Ah! Holding my computer. I'm holding my computer. I need to get one of those. I don't know how people film stuff when they do videos and vlogs or whatnot. So this is my concoction. And then now we're going to add the... But my dog's looking at me like, what is this girl doing? Another sip. But this is a typical night for me as a 33-year-old, whatever. This is, for me, I'm calling it Wine Down Wednesday. I am a bread fiend, by the way. I love to eat bread. I went on a date with a dude where the guy literally was like talking down about me eating bread, and I should have like stopped the date right there, but I continued because I felt bad. But the guy literally told me, he's like, why do you eat bread? Because it's like, you're just like gonna gain weight and it's carbs and it's gonna turn to glucose. And I told him, I was like, well, I like it because it's like an appetizer and it's a tradition in my family. If a man ever makes fun of you on a date or makes fun of you for something that you do, that's a red flag. Don't do what I did and like overlook it and be permissive and be like, oh no, but I can bring the niceness out of him. No, you can't bring the niceness out of him. He shows you who they are or whoever does. That's it. Out. Goodbye. Arrivederci. Okay, so now I'm gonna tune it to low heat and we're gonna get this wonderful sauce. I think I'll probably use like half of it. I will say though, sometimes this is where a man would be nice, like having a man in my life because I can't. Oh no, I opened it. Just kidding. It opened right away. It's like vacuum sealed. I take it back. I was able to open it. I'm not saying I don't need a man in my life, but there's some things that a man are good for because they have, the bronze. Oh, it's sizzling. Okay, I think that's a good enough amount. So I added the garlic. No, not garlic. I added the shallots. So there was a restaurant, side note, called Vapiano's in Miami. Vapiano's was so good. It was like they had this Alfredo pasta. My dog. Okay, I have to show this. This is my dog right now. So this is her favorite spot when I'm cooking. She sits on the kitchen like mat, like she sits right where the sink is, right underneath the sink. And she like that's her spot. And she'll like wait and she'll like watch me cook while I do this. So beep. Let's do that. But yeah, there is a restaurant called Vapiano's. Oh, it's starting to splatter. I don't know why it does that. I don't. It's like the sauce. Like when I'm cooking, it like spits out at you. Like that's the best way. Like I'll be cooking and and it like spits. Like I need like a shield. But it was called Vapiano's, and they basically make the food in front of you. And I remember I was like, why did that? They had this Alfredo sauce that tasted so good. I'm like, why does it taste so good? It's because they put shallots in it. And I didn't know what a shallot was until that moment, which was like 5 or 6 or 7 years ago. And it was a restaurant in Brickell, in like a building in Brickell. And then they closed it. And I was super sad. And it was my level. It had 2 stories. It was like basically like you serve yourself, like you place the order, but they cook it in front of you in like a wok or like a skillet. And then they plate it for you. And then you go on your merry way. And like you don't need a server. You don't need to tip anybody. It was awesome, and now it's gone. I don't know why, but it is. So I'm stirring the pot. Not like literally stirring. Like I'm literally stirring the pot, but not like figuratively. But oh my god, I'm gonna have another glass. First, not glass, a sip. Sorry. See, I'm not tipsy yet. I know when I'm tipsy, I will feel it. I'm not there yet. Probably because I'm eating bread. But this is why I only drink. The only time I will drink is if I'm eating something. Like if I literally, and that's frustrating. Like when which I wish guys would be like. Oh, my shirt's gone. I wish men like when they ask you out, they wouldn't be like, "Oh, do you want to go for a drink?" And it's like, and I have to tell them, and I'm like, "No," because I don't want. I don't. I will only drink, and that's the frustrating part because I feel like guys nowadays, it's like I don't know how it is if a guy asks another guy out. Like if you're gay, if a guy asks another guy out, I don't know if they do that the same thing, or if like if someone's lesbian, if they're like if they ask the woman out and they're like, hey, you want to go? But whatever. In any way, in any whatever gender, whatever sexuality, whatever, people asking each other out when they say for a drink, and I'm like, I don't I like, and then I feel awkward because I'm like. I don't want to like make it because like when you go on a date, right? At least heterosexual way, right? And I'm straight, so like I'm trying to because I don't know who's gonna watch my video, and I don't want to like be like, oh, this is. I don't want to just generalize it to heterosexual relationships because you might be gay and you might be someone who's like a girl, and you're like, oh, you like girls, and like let's say you want to ask a girl out or whatever. I don't want to discriminate. So, but anyways, dating in the heterosexual sense, it's like I sometimes feel awkward if a guy's like, yeah, let's go get drinks, and I'm like, yeah, but like we need to have like an appetizer, because then it looks like I'm like, because traditionally the guy is supposed to pay, right? Like on a first date, which I feel awkward about, which I feel like we need to change, honestly, because that's so like, first of all, you don't know each other, right? So you're thinking a guy who doesn't know you is gonna pay for your whole meal, bro. Like, no, that's a lot of pressure on a guy. I think it needs to be like a split type of situation, like like you go even or you choose something maybe where there's no money involved, like going to a park, go on a picnic, go to a library, you know? I don't know, I feel like that's easier, right? It's free. Or like go to like a city event or something, like a I don't know, like go to a museum. I don't know, I'm weird. My ideas for a date are weird, you know. I'm like, oh, let's go to a library, let's go to a picnic, let's go to a museum because it's like free and there's no drinking because it's like when you drink, right? When you drink, you're liable to like your defenses are down, you're more vulnerable, someone could put something in your drink. That's like a really risky situation. So now I feel like, which I'm not trying to get into a dating video, I was going to do a dating thing. I was going to talk about dating in a whole nother video because that's such a loaded topic. This needs to be lowered. So this is what the sauce looks like now. It's it looks nice. The shallots look a little burnt, to be honest, but whatever. It'll give it a good roasted flavor. I think I am going to, because it has the olive oil, I added the salt. Now it's time for cream. So I'm gonna make this like a creamy 4 cheese sauce. I don't know, I hope it tastes good. We'll see. We shall see what happens. Or if you want to be extra adventurous, you can do like a white wine situation. You can get some white wine, pour some Sauvignon Blanc in there. It's not, let me see something. It's not melting in the way that I hoped it would. Interesting. I wanted it to be like a pink sauce, like a pink 4 cheese sauce. I understand that cream is a more fat content. Like the fat content of heavy cream and whipping cream is a lot more than just like, regular stuff. This is half and half. I know that's weird, but that's what I have available. And, so deal with it. At this point, I'm not apologizing for anything that I find joyful or that I enjoy, because we all enjoy our own stuff. So, okay, well, actually, no, let me turn the heat up a little bit more. All the things I say, I realize I say turn up the heat is like an actual like idiom for like turn up the heat, or like stirring the pot. Like there's like a figurative language, like figure of speech, or like, I don't know. Okay, so anyways, I'm gonna go like this. I stir the pot. But why does it look so like, it looks like there's like little granules, which is weird. So the spicy vodka one that I usually use, it's not emulsify. What's the word? Enmeshes or blends better. This one's kind of funky. I don't know why. I don't know. I'm gonna try it. Let's do the taste test. Let's do the taste test. I hope it's not super hot. Okay, here you go. Uh-uh. 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 I need to add more salt or something. Something's missing. It tastes, you know what it is? It's like a regular tomato sauce. I don't do regular tomato sauce. You know what? No. You know what? I know what we're gonna do. I know. Red pepper flakes. Do I have red pepper? Oh, yes! I was gonna say Fuck, yeah. Like, yeah. But I don't think that's appropriate. Hold on. I'm not super into spice, but like, this needs something. Like, it's missing something. Even though I don't want to like cry my brains out after I eat it. But definitely missing something. It needs like